customers want to have flexibility of deployment. They do not want to be necessarily forced down one particular path. So they want to be able to consume a new application on demand on the cloud, but they also want to be able to move some of the existing applications they have on premises on public clouds, on their own private cloud, on public clouds. And we actually have some programs that are running right now to help customers do that, where we partner with some of the large public cloud service providers. We also have a certification program, so we'll have them do that. So that's the first thing. They want to have flexibility of deployment. The other thing that they're asking for is interoperability. This is where companies like Boomi and Cast Iron fit right in. Yeah? So they really want to make sure that all of these cloud applications can very nicely integrate with what they're running on premises. They expect basically from their distributed environment exactly what they expect from their own landscape that they have on premises, the same level of security, the same level of integration. But let me say that it's not just about connecting the dots, and maybe that's the third thing that they're asking for. It's true synergies. So interoperability is like the basis that they need to get from us. But what they truly want to have is true synergies, a little bit like what I described before about a talent management solution and a Salesforce automation solution. So making sure that when you use applications on demand, it really augments your landscape. You really are able to do overall with your end-to-end processes something that you were not able to do before because you have out-of-the-box synergies.
Let me take you off script here for a second.
Sure.
You mentioned three domains: the on-premise, the cloud, and then you said the on-device.
Yep.
Could you talk a little bit about the on-device? Because I know so much of our world. I mean, everybody is walking around with mobile devices these days.
So it's to talk about as a third area is kind of funny because it's just a different way of consuming your applications that run either on demand or on premises. But it's just for simplification purposes that we talk about it as a third area. You might be aware of the large acquisition we made last year called Sybase. And there were some very interesting assets from them on the database side of the house that we also use for our own in-memory technology purposes. So very interesting assets. But there are also some very interesting mobile infrastructure assets that we thought were very complementary to what we were doing with applications. Yeah? So how to help customers deploy some applications that are native to the devices, making sure that there is a very secured connection to the applications that they want to use. Together with those applications that they have on their mobile. All of that is something that we got from Sybase. What we're doing right now is further enhancing the technology that we bought from Sybase, but also making sure that indeed for all the applications that we're designing from scratch, we ask ourselves the question, why shouldn't we design it for mobile first? As opposed to the old way, which is let's have it for a nice little desktop, and then over time, let's have some maybe mobile connections to it. Actually, mobile for some applications is the most natural way of doing it. Yeah? So we're looking, for example, into another application for talent management. We call it Career on Demand. And if you want to give feedback to a person, what about having this ability to do it directly from a mobile device? So I talked about travel on demand. When you want to collect your expenses, what about the ability to do it on the run? Do it with a mobile device. Yeah? Three changes that are quite significant now on the way we design and we deliver those applications. And I'm really going to talk about the product organization now. Three elements. The first one is co-innovation. And you heard from one of our customers today, Philips, with François, talking a little bit about what we do here. So before you even think about a new solution, before even we start to put the wireframe together, we make sure that we have a large group of representative customers and representative end users we can chat with to understand not just their requirements, but more fundamentally their needs. And it's really in their interaction with them that we see their needs becoming more and more explicit. They might not necessarily be even aware of them at the beginning. So it's really in a deep interaction that we see these needs becoming very explicit, and we're able to answer to those needs very pragmatically. So that's the first thing that we really are doing. It's a pretty thorough co-innovation program where we involve customers right from the start and all the way to the solution is ready, and they can become the early adopters. So that's the first thing. The second thing we're doing, also a big change on the product side of SAP, we are adopting design thinking, which is mixing together in what we call T-shaped teams, people with interdisciplinary skills. So we mix engineers, we mix social engineers, we mix domain experts, all of them together to be the ones actually talking to the end users. So that with these very tightly knit teams, we're able to come up with some very creative ways of answering those fundamental needs that are starting to emerge from the conversation with the customers. And the third thing we're doing, and you heard that also from many customers, so the industry overall is going there, we've completely adopted the agile methodology, which fits so beautifully with on-demand, where we work in Scrum cycles, and at the end of each Scrum, the software is actually running, it's running code, and we can immediately test it online with the representative end users that we have, and we get feedback, we iterate on it, and at some point we say, that's good enough, we can make it available to all the customers.